stairs, George.
The stairs are over there.
Sunrise paints the kitchen gold. Another day unfolds.
I have
George
phobia.
had a word to say as you start your busy day. Those Filipino concrete steps, they're hard and big, a familiar daunting throne. Up and down you make your way. Listen close to what I pray. Oh, be careful of those stairs, George, tread with cautious, mindful air. Our American wife, she's making plans to love you till the very end. There's no end. Only stairs of paradise, a twinkle in your loving eyes. Funeral funds are tucked away for a distant rainy day. But your YouTube channel shining bright, filling screens with joy and light. Subscribers flock to see your grin. Another video, let's begin. Unboxings, thoughts and tales you share. A digital life beyond compare. But when the filming's done and through and household chores call out to you, remember well the warning sound as
Be careful on those stairs, George.
Oh, be careful of those stairs, George. Tread with cautious, mindful air. Your American wife, she's making plans to love you till the very end. There's no.
Hey, good morning. Look what the cat drug in. Barely. I'm going to let you know that because he was sitting here falling asleep and he stayed up all
What
night.
are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about.
Pigsy.
She's talking about Pixie.
No, I'm talking about you, Pigsy.
She's talking about Pixie.
I do not like this angle at all.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Trying to get where George can see.
Good morning, Ted. How are you guys doing today? Good morning, MB. How are you doing? Hey, Ted just finished fixing his wife's AC unit, and also he was on strike. Food. He was like on food strike up until the show started today.
Food strike?
Yes.
For Gaza, for the Russians,
I don't know. That's Ted.
for Israel, for Iran. Who's you doing a food strike there for?
Yes.
Coach,
Yes. Ted was on.
you could be
food
doing
strike
it for
today.
me. Who knows? It could be for health reasons.
And
So.
Tony Manning was he believed he was a little early today, but I'm pretty sure he's back on the chat today. How you guys doing today, guys? Good morning, magandang umaga, good evening. Masanting nabak, masanting bangi. What is this?
What? Sugar. Stir it up.
No, it's coffee. It looks like it has like salt on the rim, like margaritas.
It's just sugar. Don't worry. Just drink it.
Tastes like arsenic.
You would know, wouldn't you? How many of your women have fed you that?
Huh?
Mr. Catalyst. Here you go. That way, George, with us using the
name of the roll is yes, we put arsenic on the Bible sheet.
Okay, well, that way you can kind of see what's going on.
What is that?
So you can see. Do you want to work this here, or can you do both? Being you're at a distance, trying to figure out how we're going to do this. So, few things. Thank you, everybody. We officially hit, just for the YouTube, 2.5 million views over the last few years. But on like TikTok, we have millions of views, and through Facebook. But officially, we're proud of that. It's all organic. We didn't use simping or simplifying. I use George every now and then, but all organic, and it's thanks to you guys.
Yes, me and my Borat swimsuit. Yes.
I almost thought you were going to say balls.
We are definitely, that kind of channel.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably what brought in the views.
Yes, balls out.
To the wall. Speaking of balls to the walls, I hope everybody is hunkered down, got them a couple cans of tuna fish, and holding on to
See,
everything.
balls out.
And
Where's my
Jesus.
Bitcoin?
And finding
Where's my Bitcoin?
Nobody's giving you Bitcoin. I'm sorry, you can't have this. My notes are on here. Sorry. So you just lost your. You had to break out your own phone.
We'll go naked for Bitcoin.
Lord have mercy. I was getting to the point.
OnlyFans at George.
While George is talking, I want to let you guys know that you need to find Jesus now and find the nearest fallout shelter, whether it's your man cave, your bathroom.
Oh wait, you know
couple
Jesus?
tins of aluminum foil.
Oh my God, me and Jesus are buddies, man. He mowed my lawn.
You're out there. You need some sleep. You really, really do. You need some. I told you there's something really going on here. But I'm going to have patience and I'm going to keep finding Jesus. When all this stuff is going on, they're saying Iran did this or Israel. And so I'm going to find Jesus and I'm going to make him some Swedish meatballs and we're going to have this supper and we're going to sit down and read the Bible together. And George is, and then he'll wake up for a minute and say, "Did you find Jesus? Did you find Jesus somewhere behind your eyes?"
Well, I'll tell you what. Somebody, Segment says orgasmic. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is TMI, okay?
Oh boy.
So some of you probably should not listen. You probably should not subscribe. You probably should not yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, subscribe for those who are not subscribed. Again, to show your support for the channel. Get a hold of your partner's cell phone and change the language to Chinese. Anyway,
you just lost a viewer.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably for commercial, probably.
Now,
and this isn't exactly everybody's topic,
if you guys
I'm sure.
Wonder,
because we're about to throw some truths out there today.
Truth. I'm telling you the truth. Now, a lot of people talk about orgasmic. I'm talking about Heidi.
Please tell me this is another public service.
No. This is something about you.
Oh boy.
Now, Heidi is the only person who literally have taken me to the ninth heaven as far as orgasmic goes, and I'm not even joking. And I'm not talking about a single thing. I'm talking about an old thing
that's not me screaming, "This ain't a damn circus. You're not going to be here for 4 hours."
Yeah, something like
that. Get
that.
off me, you're sweating.
No, I'm serious. I'm not even joking. I'm not even lying. I even told her right away when it happened because,
lack of spot.
I'm just saying.
We're very compatible. We're both stubborn. We can both be toxic sometimes. We can both be stubborn. And there's always, I would say 90% of our relationship is really good. So not only does George have a good hamburger that he gets to eat all the time, but he also gets fed and gets the domestic side and a side mouth barking at him all the time. So anyways, George, thank you for your stamp of approval here. Now I have to watch as I'm walking down the street. Say, hey, what has George really got? Let's see what's under that hood. Down, boy. So, anyways, the same with the women. It kind of goes the same because George, every time we go out, all the women, they conversate with them and everything else. He did it in the United States, and it's okay, what's really going on? But okay, so this won't be everybody's favorite topic for multiple reasons. Probably by the end of this, we'll be talking about nuclear war. Who knows?
What?
Well, that's probably what's going to happen during retirement.
No, that's not going to happen. You know that, right? We've always been at DEFCON 5 all the time. I'm just saying.
There's biblical stuff going on, but just a minute. Let me get through this here. So not everybody's favorite topic, and this is why I like to keep it to the drama. By the way, they found another American homeless, but this time it was a woman. I think she's out at Chagall or something. She looks drunk and like she's had seizures or something. And that girl Carrie and somebody else, like two other vloggers, have actually posted some of her stuff on Facebook, but they're getting younger, the homeless people. But I know this ain't your guys' favorite, and until I gather some more gossip or more about George.
Speaking of gossip and Surigao, just real quick, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If there's one, now some of you are probably like, and I hate to break it to Heidi, she's not one of a kind.
Oh, I guarantee I am. Size, attitude.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, if you want to see a lot of female expats with Filipino partners,
No, they're here.
you go to Surigao.
Oh, well, yeah, they're vacation. They're not really living
That's
here.
where they're at.
Yeah.
And I'm just letting you guys know. That's all.
Did you hear that they closed the borders in Mexico? Now they're not letting people in again, like they did during the pandemic.
Yeah,
We got across the border.
Well,
So
you
now
have
all
to
those
remember-
women,
you have to
instead of
remember,
going to
there's
Cabo, they're going to have to
official
go
border
somewhere.
close, and there's official border close.
Yeah, if you don't mind 10 German Shepherds and a couple Mexicans up your ass as you're going through. And going
Hey,
through
we
your
still
luggage.
went through. According to the
I kind of enjoyed
news,
the dogs.
the border was closed, but we got through.
I think you enjoyed the frisk too much. Then I had a bout of diarrhea. That was horrible. Remember the diarrhea? Do you remember? As soon as we got through and they went through the car and they went through our stuff and taking photos and doing all that stuff,
No,
I
they
literally
actually
ended up almost shitting myself.
Yeah, they took the car apart and brought the German Shepherd over and stuff. It's kind of hilarious,
There's
actually.
like 40 of them. I remember 40
Yeah,
dogs.
they even had videos and everything. No, I'm not. We're not. I'm not lying.
I think that's
took
how.
videos.
Hey, I think that's how we got attacked at the next.
Not attacked. We got stopped and got.
I'm being dramatic. I know.
I can't say
We're
the
probably
word here, but
We were 2 miles in past the border, and there were
2
guys
miles,
in
it's
trucks.
more like a mile.
Yeah, it probably wasn't even that. It was the next city in the first stoplight. Literally, there was
It was
guys
the first
claiming
stoplight.
to
got stopped by
They
cops.
said we ran the light, which was an impossible.
Which is not, because the light's right in front of us.
And we were like 6 cars back. So how did we go through a red light? And there were stopped traffic when we approached. And they said we were speeding. For Christ's sake, what was we going? 8 miles an hour, maybe? Because like it was crazy.
Oh yeah, just so you guys know. I mean, Mexico and Philippines is a lot similar when it comes to speed limit. Like, put it this way, guys. In Philippines and in Mexico, the interstate speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. That's kilometers, so that's about 32 miles per hour. I'm not lying. It's insanely slow.
Nah, but then they drive crazy too. They had a lot of crazy
No.
drivers there. Hey,
They
good morning,
they don't
Linda.
follow the speed limits
Sarah.
there, and I'm going to tell you right now, they don't follow speed limits here either. So. But yeah, no, the speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour, so that roughly translates to 32 miles per hour. So.
Yeah. I see comments in there real quick. Lack of Spot said, "Is Jesus lost again?" You still better find him. And then who knows? Somebody said we were at DEFCON 3 today, whatever that means. I couldn't tell you DEFCON 1 to DEFCON 3, but I know one thing. You guys probably got about 7 years and about a week to get yourself together.
Would you like to play a game?
I don't know. Well, anyways, I just, it never hurts to be prepared. I mean, we already keep a few months worth of food. Like we've got the can. I bet you with the cans and the rice and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
last.
we have a good amount of food supply. They keep running around and stuff. Clean up after them.
OMG, I seen an Instagram post. It was too much. It showed. It says, "You ever wonder why there was never a Chinese restaurant commercial?" And then all of a sudden you see, "In the arms of an angel," and then you see the cats and you see the dogs. They said they do it all the time. I'm like, dang, that was wrong. So, all right, so let's get down to the brass tacks of the 4 stages of retirement. And especially here in the Philippines, it's going to be more difficult. If you guys are back in your home country or like us in the U.S., or I remember my grandparents, I didn't realize.
Oh, it is.
What?
It is.
Oh, it changed. The mirror camera's on. So remove that.
There it is. Yeah. It messes with people.
Okay, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to mess with those that come in the room afterwards, but that's okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Ted, for letting us know.
Well, we're still having the glitches, so we turned off the antivirus software and some other things. But then we noticed today that Bings were at 11 Pro. That what does that stop at?
We
8?
are
Streams
using
at 8 or
yeah.
something.
We're
So
running at Windows 11 Pro, and I think it's a
And they're at 8.
compatibility issue.
yes. So we will work through it. That's what we figured. But we went to go start the live stream once or twice. Well, I did, and it wouldn't go through. And then we restarted. It said it timed out or something. So we're working here. So every time with the software, you got to reset it up. So, anyways, so if you're doing the 4 stages or you're going through the retirement, thinking about coming here, and then most people are coming here to the Philippines, it's going to add to probably stage 5 and 6 of your retirement. But you keep hearing the channels or hearing what we've said before about when you move to the Philippines, watch out for the ladies, watch out for scams. Did you bring enough money? The banking, that's the least of your problems. I mean, I think the part of retirement that you keep seeing is like these guys are getting here and they're so overwhelmed and then they can't even deal with their own personal life or the stages of retirement. It's a psychological fuck, man. I mean, what?
You can't say that.
I just did. So, oh well. So it is. It's a head game, and it would be like that if you're in the United States or Canada or wherever. So I'm going to go through these phases, and I got the ideal that had come through Ted's talk, and I'd seen one other one. Like when I watched that, another person did something similar, and I'm like, man, this applies to the Philippines. And I was talking to George about it. I said, but it's even harder when you're in a foreign country. So all we did was add ×5 to the problems. I'm trying to learn this country, and then George is returning from living in the U.S. 27 years. So you're readjusting. So we're doing all the readjusting. So the first phase 1, everybody's in a vacation phase. Everybody's in a party, drinking. Let me get a little wussy tussy wussy. Everybody's in the, hey, screw you. I don't have to work another day. It's party time. Got the countdown clock, Scott. And everybody's like all wound up because you're like, okay, I don't have to work. Now, needless to say, it was officially that for George because you didn't have no vacation for how many years before we officially?
3 years nonstop.
Okay, so running the business and everything,
that includes weekends, by the way.
2010, I was totally so sick and disabled, I could not work. Okay, so I was already adjusting. But that is a phase that everybody is going to go through. They're going to go through the party phase. You get whatever sleep you want. You have freedom about a year, and then it starts to lose its luster. And it's the same ad to the people that are coming here, and they're all these women, and it's like a fox in a chicken coop. You know what I mean? Picture George running around the chicken coop. So about a year in, it loses its luster. And you start to miss your routine. Like, you miss hanging out with your friends at work, all the things you used to do, that hot chick in a pink dress that used to sit at the desk at your business and all that. So you start to miss things. Okay. So in phase 1, it's my girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. You know who sang that one?
Actually, no. I know the song. I don't know who the singer
is. It was Eddie Murphy. It was one of the songs that he did. My girl wants to party all the time. He did it was Eddie Murphy on that one. So, all right. So, anything to elaborate on the first couple years of retirement? Like it was fun. Like we were on the road. We were going to Universal Studio. We were eating at all the restaurants. Vlogging seemed like the best thing in the world. And we had our funnest times before we started making $100 a month.
It's like this. For those of you who are trying to wrap your minds around it. Have you guys ever moved from one city to another?
Mm-hmm. And then it's like
the same thing. You
like
move to this new city. You're You're excited. You see a lot of new stuff. You do a lot of new things, and then it gets old. Except now you change it to a different country.
And I think that's why people, I hate to say it, they're quick to get out of marriages. They move on with somebody else, or kind of like the Peachback Mountain couple and stuff. I think they just were stagnant after,
Well,
I
that's
think,
for
5 years.
amateurs. That's why you should always have a different woman for every day.
Some people do. So it's how they actually do the entire endurance. And so no, it's like new. So people are like me. I will say throughout my life, I was quick every couple years to move to a new city. Let me get a new house. Let me have another kid. Let me remarry another man. Kind of shit. So people just get bored, or they get. So it's kind of similar that the luster will actually disappear. Then you guys will get into phase 2 of retirement, and again, more difficult here. You start to feel lost. You have a loss of routine, a loss of identity, a loss of relationship from your work, your bosses, your friends. You have a loss of like that power situation, like with you running the company. You know, people, I was talking about you the last time on the live stream, and they're thinking kind of maybe you were going through some sort of depression. And now that I'm thinking about it, could be slightly. You used to be the boss of a lot of people. You had the office, you were in control of a lot of things, and all of a sudden it's just, you know, you're doing your gaming, your napping, time with family, and things kind of, you went from being boss to choss.
Okay, now for those of you trying to wrap your heads around this, think of it this way. Humans are people of habit. And what that means is, whether that habit is good or bad, you're looking for that habit.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you hate somebody that let's say you hate somebody at work and you have to deal with them every day. The moment you retire, believe it or not, you're going to miss that person.
No, it's true. When George disappears to the family house, I miss him sometimes, but miss him. No, it's true. You miss, I hate to say it. That's why you all watch us. Even if you hate us, we know half of you guys don't even like us. Okay. But I'm okay with that, because when we slow down and you were missing, people missed you.
Think about it this way. It's like, you guys ever had that quirky vending machine that never gives you the chips unless you bang your hand on it?
And you go back to it every time.
You go back to it, and then guess what? Years and years later, you talk up to your friends. Oh man, I had this, and it gives you joy to talk about this vending machine that gives you a hard time.
So somewhat you miss the trauma. It's kind of like when you're around the family that's super toxic and fighting all the time. I miss my sisters.
You miss the
They're
drama.
A bunch of problems. Right. Well, you miss the whole situation. So you have the loss of that. And then people at this stage, okay, remember, about a third of your life will be in retirement. Some people start at 50 or 60, and some people can live past 90. Okay, so they're 20 to 30 years in retirement. So at that point, they're going through things like, some guys start to get divorces. Women start to get divorces in their 50s and 60s. Kids are gone. Let me go to the Philippines. And a lot of them do head here at that age, 50, 60, 70. They're coming here. You'll find out a lot of them are freshly divorced, all of that stuff. So they're going through divorce, depression. They're in a decline, like fear, anxiety. And again, you're coming to a foreign country, okay? So on top of that, that I think this is why also the guys are remarrying quickly. Like, I'll tell you, without George, I wouldn't have made it here. I mean, I would have, because I've learned a lot, and I have those mother boss instincts that didn't change because I retired. I had been retired for a while. But when they get here, I think the guys, I think if they stay in the US, they probably wouldn't have remarried. They may not have. But again, the fox and the chicken coop situation. But some of them will come here, as we see, oh, I'm not going to marry and I'm not going to do a YouTube channel. Bullshit. They do both. You can almost bet money on it. I wish I'd start betting money on it. We ought to do some sort of pool
I really
on
don't
that.
recommend it. Please don't. And trust me, those of you listening, you will remember me saying, please don't do YouTube, because you will like
Peachback Mountain, American man and wife said they wish they didn't,
No,
because there's still
no,
a form
you will
of
wish
problems.
you didn't.
Like I would say bad things about the videos he would edit, and then I'd be like, hey, go out and get content, or we would have these bad conversations and not talk to each other for a day over this stuff, or 2 days. but it does cause problems. But so these guys do go through this. They're just lost. That is definitely phase 2. And then by the time they hit phase 3, then it's just trial and error. Guys are starting to build houses at this point. They're in 2-3 years maybe. I think if they make it past that 7-10 years, then they're good to go here. But in retirement, they start to do the trial and error. And you start like, what's the meaning of life, and how can I change things? And I think this is the phase where guys are like, I can change the Philippines. I'm going to open up a communist or a communism.
You mean a commune?
Yeah. They're going to open up like a trailer park here or something and put a bunch of kids in it. And instead of them being in cardboard
Trailer Park
boxes.
Boys, Philippine version. What? What is that supposed to be? Filipino?
Bing, ding dong, ding ding dong. Hey, hold on. So, everybody's gonna save everybody in the
Hindi
Philippines.
ko alam.
Me.
Ako ba nang get a shopping cart?
So, it just happens. I watch these guys do the same thing. We can almost predict what they're gonna do when they get. I need something to hit you up, to set you on fire and get it over with. Shit. Okay, so they're trying to change. Like me and George, we've always loved animals, so we're feeding them, and I have to bring that in. Like now, there's a ton of cats in our neighborhood, and I think we did agree that the guy up the road put the cats down. That them babies would have never.
No. There's no way in heckle those kittens would have made it
They
all
got
the
to be
way
about
over here.
3 weeks old. They can
Those
barely
kittens
move.
can barely walk.
And they were like, it was like a quarter of a mile up the street.
They
There's no way.
grabbed those kittens and
put them at the
here.
gate.
Yeah.
So, but we do that, but it's not. I guess it's part of it, but like
Should I
guys.
get 'em? Should I get the kittens?
Oh Lord, oh no, not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
later.
released the video that's for the members right now. There's a video
They're
out
cute
on it.
little guys.
Which now, if you guys want to consider membership,
It's really cute.
membership
They're
has
like
its privileges.
no, really. I don't know if you've seen them. They literally
And you guys can re-gift
cling on to their
memberships to
mom.
people.
They cling onto the back of their mom, and the mom walks around the yard.
Oh, baby, forgot
What?
the caption things are missing. We got to ask for a Bitcoin
It
and
was
people.
there. It disappeared.
I know it does. That's what I mean. I know it's kind of freak. You know what? We're gonna have to take the code and start going into the other software with this and let it be the backside because it is very unstable. It's George trying to be cheap, man.
Well, we wouldn't have this problem if somebody gives us Bitcoin.
Okay. So all right. So that's the deal on phrase 3. Phase 3, trial and error. You start asking how you can make your life meaningful again. Let me go get married to a Filipina and have more drama than I had in the United States. Char.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, drama happens no matter what.
Drama happens. Yeah.
And then also they go through like, okay, I'm going to get a hobby, sucking on George all day with a little coffee. I use him as my swizzle stick in my cup. And you go through these things of, I'm going to open a sorry store. Businesses. All these people get these ideals, how they can improve the Philippines and that they're going to start a business. I'm going to tell you what, you open that sorry store and then somebody 3 doors down on each side is going to open one in your subdivision or neighborhood. And it's, you're just doing it because you're bored or showing off or something.
Now here's the thing.
Hey, Cindy.
The weird thing is, I'm not going to lie to you. It's like, okay, I'm Filipino, but I'm really puzzled and wondering where the frick this money comes from when these Filipinos open a random store out from nowhere.
Right, because they got to pay for that stock, and they stock it with everything.
Forget the stock, just building the store.
Yeah, because just to put a tin roof outside, done in the crappiest way, would still cost us $400 or $500 US. Okay, probably got glitches going on. Hold on.
No, it's
This is behind. We're having technical difficulties.
No, we're not.
So, anyways, delaying, waiting for it to happen on the live end will not show it. See, it
Oh, yeah.
actually flashes in and
it's a
out.
split second.
Software compatibility with the new Windows. So I don't know where they get the money. So
No,
it
really.
makes you wonder.
Really.
And
It's amazing.
the only thing, and even George is a Filipino, wonders how it actually happens. And it's because there's they have a lot of people living in one house, and so then after that you'll go into phase 4, the fourth one. You're going to reinvent and rewire. You're going to try to figure out what your mission is. You're going to try to squeeze all the juice out of whatever you can. Let me gather the rest of the money. I'm going to build me a house and then start a sorry store. Oh, my coffee's on the edge. I'm on edge. You're going to try to get the best out of retirement. You're going to reset your goals. But I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to be here in the Philippines. I'm officially we're about 4 years in right now. And I think we're starting like figuring out, hey, this is what we're going to do. We had pulled back on the YouTube some. I'm spending more time like working with the kittens and cats, and then other things. I mean, just other hobbies that we're doing. And so people will figure out other things, and you'll try to figure a way to start serving others in your time. You might get into Jesus again and religion. You'd be surprised what people reset. And it could be a phase where guys that wait will actually get married, some start a family. But it took me about 4 years to get into it a little bit, but I had already started in 2010. So you'll go from like 100 miles an hour when you come to the Philippines, and then you'll start slowing down, and then you'll find a purpose. So there are multiple phases, and adding it to the Philippines makes it more difficult. But I don't think people really think of retirement in that way. How many people out of 10 do you think really say, hey, I've got my money, I've got the investments, got the house paid for, I'm not going to make like solid, like they don't change, they're rock solid. And then they know what's going to hit them in retirement? Not many. Because I think guys, some have the money part aspect here. Like they're so proud of, I've got money and I've got a house and all that. But all the others may hit them. Depression, boredom, no purpose. You can have your money in your house all you want and sit up and whatever you're doing. But if you don't have purpose, if you don't have, if you're in a depression or all these things that could hit you, then your money's not, money is not everything. We've learned every side of life right now. We've both had one end where we've had the money, and then we've had where we've been like working and purpose, and then boom, you slow down. Like I said, 100 miles an hour, you slow down. So it's
Well, I mean,
trying to find a balance of all of it is what's hard.
here's a harder thing.
Hey Barry, how are you doing?
Now be aware that there's something called act of God, and the reason I brought this up is actually recent. And what I'm saying is, this is really sad. Now, you guys ever heard of CDO, Cagayan de Oro? There was a typhoon that came by. I believe the name is Oding. It came by, and it was fast. It came in and out, but it hit CDO really hard. Now, Cagayan de Oro is a really nice place. It's a lot like Angel City, except cleaner. Okay, it's actually better than Angel City. Now, here's the problem. When that storm came by, all of a sudden they have some serious flooding, and I'm talking about like flooding all the way up to almost to your thigh flooding. Now, imagine that you're an expat in that area, which I'm sure there's a bunch of them there.
Yeah.
So,
And that's in the nice area.
what I'm saying is, you can be really good at adapting to the weather. You could be really good at adapting to culture. But when that crap hits you, you don't know what to do. You're ready to give up at that point. Just saying.
No, and a lot do. People don't realize that out of 10 expats that'll get off a plane, I bet you half are leaving after a few years anyways. Like you'll get this momentum and you're good. Some get married, some get scammed, some run out of money. There's all these different reasons, but it doesn't matter if it was here or Mexico or Guadalajara or some of these other countries. things can go south. And if it wasn't for George pointing out, like right now, I told you guys this may not be the fanciest neighborhood. It's not the cheapest rent. It's not the most expensive, but the people are friendly and there's no flooding. Like when it rains
No,
like a
there's no.
dog out
We
there,
haven't had any
zero
real problems. And when there was a fire in the neighborhood, the fire
immediately.
fired immediately. They were here.
Yes. Nice landlord, everybody. I mean, everything has been about as smooth as it can go. But people are moving into their houses. They, like I feel sorry for the ones that have been building the places by the beaches and they're doing all these resorts. Them resorts are being sold for reasons. It's there's reasons they keep reselling them and they're the same ones resold over and over again. And it's like we're due for a real rough storm. This year may be the one. They've called out for a bunch of them, but I bet you they didn't expect for that to happen in CDO. I've been watching. I've been
No,
reposting them on
no.
Facebook, and so
No, they didn't. There something happened there, and I'm not talking about like um. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like here in our area. Like there were. I mean, we've been here long enough, so I know the patterns. What I'm saying is, for instance, down in the market area, here's a here's the weird thing. In the market area, it never flooded because I've been watching the waters and everything, or lack thereof. In the market area, it never flooded whenever there's storms. So somebody in government, I'm not going to mention who, they had the sewers fixed. And after they had the sewers fixed, guess what? What happened?
a bunch of people had to move out.
After they had the sewers
They
fixed,
did have people living in them.
then it started to flood in the market area.
Yeah.
Go figure that one out.
Oh yeah.
Well,
if you don't fix the entire problem,
the real long story short, what it is they fixed the sewers, but when they dredged out the crap, they didn't actually haul it out. They put it on the side, so it went back and actually made it worse. No, really, I'm not making this up. So
yeah.
anyway, bottom line, I believe in CDO, there's a lot of things that could have happened. It's a lot like Bulacan. Bulacan again. It's
Oh jeez.
Bulacan again. For we have a friend who used to live there, and it never used to flood, and now it floods. And the reason being is because of I'm not gonna go into it right now because this is not the topic of the day. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so this is an open conversation for people to ask the comments and everything. Everything is open to discuss, so there's no problem in that. So no, I'm okay.
Okay, well,
it's still pertaining
just
because
real quick.
people should keep an open mind when they get here, and
I guess it would pertain to you guys. Now, the reason being is because you guys are obviously interested in living in the Philippines. And remember, this applies to doesn't matter what country you're in.
are obsessed with us.
These are basic rules that wherever you live at, they should follow, or else you'll fall into a victim, as in CDO, flooding up to the waist high, deep waters.
Hey Gio, I just want to say hi
Now,
to Gio real quick.
in the U.S., whenever they build a
Gio said hi.
Oh, hi Gio, how you doing?
He's been sleeping, so he stayed up all night again. But I'm like, dude, it's time to appear. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
Now in the U.S., whenever they build subdivisions or an industrial park, you will notice that the first thing they do before they build any buildings is they dig deep ditches and concrete it, and that's what they're called retaining ponds. And you know what retaining ponds do? When it rains, that's where the water goes. Now in the Philippines, the retaining ponds are like optional, and I'm not making this up. Gio's in the room; he'll attest to that. Retaining ponds are rare, and what that means is if you live in an area that they decide to concrete up, concrete does not absorb water like soil does. And what I'm saying is, whenever you build concrete roads, you should have an equal amount of retaining ponds for water displacement.
It's an infrastructure
correct.
thing.
It's civil engineering 101.
I
correct.
thought Egypt was bad. I thought Mexico was bad. But when I see the things that are done here in the Philippines, it's just, I'm like, but they tried. And
Right.
then George goes, but did you die?
But
like,
did you die?
the
Right.
stairs are all messed up. And he'll say, but did you die? And I'm like, at least they tried,
Right. So in Bulacan, the problem is they built too much warehouses, not enough retaining ponds, and CDO, I believe they built the city and not a lot of retaining ponds either, and therefore now you have a flooding issue. It's just again civil engineering 101.
Oh, someone's talking about war games. Yeah.
Would you like to play a game?
It's kind of scary, guys. It does make you think, and for those that are religious or like on the cusp, I would still consider, because it's me and George have been discussing this, that there's a lot of prophecy. Like even the churches, even some of the big churches are starting to talk about it on social media. Like they'll go through and describe, and yes, the next few years or next few months will be so critical, and so I just keep an open mind on everything going on. But it is kind of scary. And I try not to watch a ton of it. Like once you watch one and you stop on it, then they feed you everything dealing with that. And then I just stop watching whatever we're watching. Like TikTok will feed you 100 and Instagram will. And it's like, yeah, you got to get out because people are using that like for fear mongering. Like I've seen them take the smallest thing, like the draft. They are now saying officially the law has passed, and they're showing people are receiving draft notices that they have to serve. I thought they said they stopped the draft, didn't they?
What?
Yeah, people are showing papers online that they got
There's
drafted
no
recently.
draft.
Yeah, and
There's no draft.
well, that or they did put something in like a bill to bring back the 18 to something
Okay,
that they're
okay.
going to start drafting, but it hasn't
Okay,
passed. But
okay.
people are using that and
Now-
saying, "Hey, they're drafting people."
No. There's a difference. What I'm saying is there's a piece of paper that they'll make you sign, or it's kind of
They're
like
showing a notification dated from 2 days ago that they got drafted.
right. It's not a draft. It's like a, what do you call it? It's everybody signs this piece of paper at one point in time. They're just resending it.
Okay, so you're talking about like when you turn a certain age, you have to go register at the
Correct.
post office. Well, I thought they stopped that. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to bring all that back.
Right. That's not a draft.
Oh,
When I signed it, I
Yeah.
wasn't drafted. That's my point. It's a piece of paper stating that when a wartime comes, I will go to war if I'm
okay.
called.
So then what exists anymore? Because things have changed so much in the last
So what I'm
20
saying
years.
is this is not, they're not being drafted. It's just a piece of paper that they're signing that stating that,
Well, I'm seeing multiple things. That's what I'm saying.
right.
A guy showed that he's being called into the army or something already. Like several of them are, and I think they're
Unless they're
AIing
National
him.
Guard.
No, military, just whatever. One guy says he'd rather be put in jail before he goes. So they're using it. They're using this. Everybody right now is using everything that's going on, and nothing can be trusted until the lights go out in Georgia. I mean, that's pretty much where it is. So, carry on with your life and everything, but I would still be,
Well, you
prepping.
can't trust social media. That's for sure.
Yeah. How far did you? I don't know where.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't going through all of them. I was just going to what's recent.
Oh, well, I was just going down and putting up this stuff, so I still put this stuff up. George needs rest, so I'm kind of lost. So you're just reading through people's stuff. Kind of going through the comments here. I mean, yeah, I'm done. 4 phases. Yeah, that's why I'm going through the comments, and yeah, we're done. 4 phases. You really need some sleep.
Okay, no.
He was up all night, guys.
Now, the thing with the thing that was in one of the phases where you're into the adaptation mode. Now, be aware that the thing that was missing in that discussion is that's actually the part where it either makes you or breaks you. You know what I'm saying? That's the part where, again, it doesn't matter what country you're in or what city you're in. I mean, you can be in the U.S. and this could happen to you. You could be like a New Yorker. You go to California, and then you know what? At that phase, you're like, you know what? I give up. I'm going back to New York. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What I'm saying is, you have to be aware, see, of yourself. And I'm talking about self-awareness. And why is self-awareness important? You have to know your limits. If you know your limits, that's half the battle. And what I'm saying is, for example, like me, okay? Now I climb mountains, I mountain bike. I'm a very active guy, but I'm not deluded. I know I cannot climb Mount Everest. I will if I try to Mount Everest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
You
even the
you
best,
have to know your limits.
right, even the best well-laid plans can still be wrecked.
Correct.
I mean, I'm emotional, steroids, because of menopause, my age, being American, as some people would say. And I thought I had everything in the bag before we got here. And somebody challenged the other day that I wouldn't last a week in a foreign country. And I'm like, well, first off, I'm here. And I mentioned this on the last live stream, and it's like, but I have. I mean, I found Egypt to be way more stressful than being here. But it's, if you don't have, have the open mind to know that you can be wrecked at any time. You're not invincible. People should understand that part
Get
of
wrecked.
it too. Yeah. So you got what I'm saying. Some people feel they're Superman, and just understand that some people with the strongest, most positive attitudes can have the wind knocked out of them when they get off the airplane here after about an hour or two. It's for people that, have been watching social media and have no idea what it's actually like to be in another country. And they think because they were watching and vicariously, it can actually become a problem. And then you add in retirement, and then it just becomes more, kind of crazier. We heard the locals benefit from the rainwater for collecting water. Well, I don't know how many do that. Maybe out in the province, if they're not having, like, getting jugs of water. But yeah, I'm sure they're.
Well, I forgot what kind of well they call it. Depends on the place you go to. It's like the U.S. Like they do have rain barrels. They do use rain in areas. Certain people do. Not the type of well it is, but basically collects rainwater.
Yeah.
I forgot the name again. I'm not an agriculturalist. It's not water for drinking. It's basically water for irrigation or washing, all that kind of stuff. It's a special kind of well. But that's what they do in the province.
Yeah.
Not so much in this city, but you know.
Yeah, there you go. Neil says where I built a house, they allowed a gas station and they blocked the canal. Not, maybe he meant now it floods. They spent over 1 million pesos to fix it. They went halfway and stopped. Yeah, that's another thing. Construction will happen, and then halfway through, they do tend to stop. We had that government building that was supposed to be here, that was supposed to be the new city hall or government building. Something happened with the mayor previous, and they stopped. Like the whole thing's totally shut down. They'll probably turn it into a strip mall in a few years. I don't expect it to be anytime soon, but they invested millions and millions, probably even 1 billion pesos already with that type of construction and land clearing. And that's where the 7-Eleven was and everything else. And it's, it's down. So, you know what I wish they would turn it into? Kind of like a market area. You know how I've seen the modern markets where there are 2-3 levels? No, they do have the 2 or 3 levels. And they're trying to modernize where they, people can go in and sell. That's what they need to do to clear up these streets and stuff. But maybe they can turn it into a more modern market. But that market that we have here is not the largest, but it's a pretty good size, and people come like once a week to the market. It's almost like a farmer's market, and but I think they could do something with it. But I doubt they'll invest that type of money. They'll just keep, yeah. Um, let's see. Okay, 939.
Discerning dash. All guys 18 to 26 must register for selective search system. They might be sending that out. Correct. Um, Already serve and discharge honorably. Do not think I need to worry about the draft. No, it's not a draft. And
All right, so they
and
still must register. It
no,
never changed. I
and
thought
that's
with all the
always
wokeness.
been. That's
With all
always
sorry,
been.
with all the wokeness and some of the other presidents
See,
were woke, they've
no.
changed the rules so much. It's nothing is given or steady anymore. But I thought
Everybody
they got rid
signs
of
that
it.
piece of paper. Everybody signs.
Oh, I would never say never in this day and age.
No,
but I thought
mean,
it stopped.
you signed that piece of paper. I signed that piece of paper.
Oh no, I didn't.
No, you did. You had to. You had no choice. You had to sign it at one. That was for you. It was probably like Queen Victoria or something.
I was a Section 8 to start with. I was born a Section 8. They tattooed that on my arm, and believe me, I wasn't signing that. So when you're born into being a Section 8,
Why do that?
I had to remove it from over here.
Oh.
Yeah, delete. That is extremely weird. Another glitch. We weren't touching anything. So, yeah, so I don't know if it changed at some point, but I thought it was for males only. But that's just, I don't know. Let's see. 939. Building the houses. Hello, family. Remember, you guys are more important to each other than any issue. Life sucks. We just got to get through it. No, and we know that.
Yeah, you just keep on plugging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about communication and all of that. And we tend to not talk to each other for a while without communication, and then we do. So it's, we've been through a lot, and it's how you endure it and stuff. And so that's where it is. So I agree.
Yeah.
But remember, a lot of times George is extremely busy now. He does things. His uncle was sick recently again. And so there are other things going on. We're just reprioritizing situations, and I'm the one that has the most free time. So, like right now, he probably should be sleeping. I mean, he's in the last 3 days, he's hardly had any sleep. So, but you miss the people, huh?
Ooh, I got to use the dead elevator at AU Medical.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not lying.
I
In
don't know what that
all hospitals, they have an elevator where they ferry the deceased. I got to use the deceased elevator at AU. No, I'm not joking.
Hey, Lucca.
Just Mio.
Bulacan.
Yeah, just Mio, Bulacan. That's the warehouse capital. If you go in Lasada, they're usually from Bulacan. I don't know if the place has decent sewage system. You don't dredge the river, and the typhoons come. There goes the dirty water, garbage, horrible. Now, again, the reason why Bulacan is again flooding is because they never built those retaining ponds, and the water just stays on top of the concrete, and it floods. Before anybody anybody who's lived in Bulacan will attest to this. Before the warehouses came, it never flooded, and now it does. Now with all the warehouses there, which is kind of ironic. You would think that with all the important stuff in the warehouse that's coming from China or in the U.S. and all parts of the world, they probably don't want that stuff
And
flooded in.
And here's the crazy thing: they're building more and more and more. That's
Correct. They're building
how
more and
Mr.
more and
Fluffy
more.
got ran out. Is they're like building one daily over there, and it's
No,
like they
and
know it and they still
and that's
do
the
it.
thing. These are stuff that belong to other people, and you would think that they would build the infrastructure to prevent the flooding.
That
But
just goes to tell you,
they don't
go
care.
that you can't tell an Asian no.
Well,
Asians are
it's
just stubborn. I'm telling you, stubborn,
well, most of them
complicated,
are
hard-headed.
owned by Filipinos. I'm just saying.
Probably somebody Asian. I said Asian.
Yeah, I know. I'm just not saying which nation, but you guys already know which nation.
But I bet it's being managed by a Filipino.
Yeah, I doubt it. Not really.
Right. Probably not. So, hello, family. Remember you guys. Life sucks. Was
Oh,
that
that's the same
true?
one.
Did I just repeat that?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. War of the Roses. Yeah, right. As for movie comments, I like War of the Roses. Yeah, I like that was a good movie. What's the other
Michael
one?
Douglas.
Death
And,
Becomes Her was another one.
oh,
Draft beer.
yeah.
Yeah, draft. Able bodied, not woman. Let's see. I like the census of able bodied men, not women. Yeah, that is something difficult. What do you think? George, does owning a George brand beer brewery make money in the Philippines? I doubt. We do see companies like expats or Filipinos that do all these craft beers.
IPAs and no.
They see, here's the thing: is only a percentage. It'd have to be other foreigners buying it or the high end Filipino and Asians that are actually here. I actually wonder how they survive. Like, there's where they sell those little 4 packs, and it's literally like, in my opinion, U.S. prices. They're charging
No, they're U.S. prices.
1,400
They're US
pesos,
prices,
and
yeah.
they're charging 1,000 pesos, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe like some people where there is like a 2, 3 house income or something, and they're wanting to try something different. Like me and George like to try different things, like and all things. So we're always willing to, even if we're like half broke, we're like, hey, let's go ahead and give this a whirl situation. But I don't know.
If you have an IPA company in the Philippines, you better be in a tourist trap. If you're not in a tourist trap, it's definitely 1,000% guaranteed to fail.
Within a few years, yeah,
Within a few years,
well,
within 6 months.
without major investments. A lot of these businesses survive. In other words, if you guys don't have 100,000, if you're just opening up a sorry store, 100,000 US, like you're opening up these businesses, if you don't have that money to throw away, then don't do it.
Oh, and unless you're
It's got to be really disposable
unless you're
income here.
actually there, don't even bother.
You will definitely be cleaned out by the Filipino employees and stuff. You got to be careful. If you think it's bad in the US, I'm not saying that everybody's thieving and stuff. It's just very, very I hate to say it, with the type of incomes and payments. The foreigners that hire in these people also pay them dirt cheap. I mean, like at these bars, at the restaurants, they pay them like peanuts, and they do have the income to pay them. So it's kind of where it is. So if it's not disposable income, I just wouldn't even consider it. Was you looking down at the microphone?
No,
Oh, you're
I'm
reading
reading.
that. So America does not have enough active duty. Hey, Black Grandpa. This is driving me totally nuts.
Well, okay. My grandma says America does not have active duty troops to fight a long war, so I can see the draft coming back. I wouldn't be surprised if they start drafting people in detention to be. Now, okay. Yes and no, and the reason why I say this is, I'm not arguing with you, Black Grandpa.
You're talking about people in jail?
No, I'm not.
In detention.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of like this. If you're comparing numbers to, see, here's the thing: numbers are skewed as far as military power is concerned. I understand that maybe you're comparing like U.S. versus China, that kind of deal. Yeah, the U.S. does not have enough troops to be neck and neck with China. No, I agree with you. However, be aware that most nations don't have that many troops. Period. forget China. I'm saying we don't even know those China numbers are real. I mean, I get China has a big population, but you have to remember too that China's a lot of fluff. Even their tanks, even their planes are made out of paper. I'm not saying literally. They're paper tigers. Most of their tanks and planes are not what they pretend to be. Um, so I'm not quite sure how solid their numbers are as far as troops are concerned.
And this is what I thought. Are you guys talking about signing up for the draft in the Philippines? Because in the U.S. it is. It is all males. It's not males and females. So I don't know which one you're talking about. In the U.S. it's males. They taught us that in school, and that's why I wondered if it had changed or if they stopped doing it, because I've heard so many different things, misinformation, AI telling you misinformation. But no, in the U.S. it's males over the age of 18, not males and females. So yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. But they're showing people with draft notices. Again, they could be real interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I already ended it, so it was weird that it came up. But yeah, so what I was trying to say earlier is that people are really sensationalizing what's going on. It's like it's kind of covering what's really going on with so much too much truth, and then not enough information or a lot of fake stuff. I'd probably say 75% is fake. As a matter of fact, here's the weird thing. I'm going to show it to George here. I can't believe that GMA, it was either GMA or the other one that's here, the news thing, they played something Israeli, and you clearly see it was AI. Like the guy was glitching. He was making the same movements as he was talking, and they're playing something that is really evidently AI and fake. These days, I think a lot of them aren't even like doing the checking behind. I couldn't believe it. You could clearly see when he approached the podium, he was just all of a sudden there, and it was like he kept glitching. And I get that there's an interruption sometimes in the internet, but you could see he's AI. And maybe he had to appear that way because he's in a bunker somewhere. I don't know, but I wouldn't have played it. It was beyond political when they played the guy. He was from Iran or something. And I'm like, this is AI. And I'm like, it's AI. I kept screaming, it's AI. And so it's so much out there. So that's, kind of like the retirement thing and the things we've been talking about. You really have to, these days, it's not that simple to retire. It's not that simple moving to a foreign country or making it through life and the internet and the AI and religion and all these things. There's so much crap coming in on top of religion, too. There's so much.
Well, like I said, now AI again lies, which again I always say that, and anybody who has any experience with AI. But before the pinnacle of AI, should I say, there's a lot of YouTubers that I know for a fact that don't know crap about the Philippines, that land here, they don't know crap, they don't know nothing, and yet they're here giving advice. And it just irks me.
Expats by themselves. Yeah, they're Filipinos are rarely involved except for dancing and simping things. I just seen that.
No, I'm talking about. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna mention his name, but it's this Filipino that lives in BGC that has never even got his hands dirty, and you can tell.
Oh, living up in the tower guy. There's some rich kid that moved from Chicago or California.
Don't know crap about the Philippines. Can't even speak the freaking language.
Yeah.
Can't even speak the language, and he says stuff about the Philippines, and I'm like,
he's just
dude,
regurgitating what other people say.
That's not real. You're Googling stuff. The worst thing you can do in the Philippines is Google stuff. Most of it is wrong.
Yeah. So I just watched one of those shows that deal with like YouTube and everything else, and they said the game has changed again in the last month. And basically, the YouTube is so overfilled and oversaturated because everybody wants to do it to make the extra money with the economy and everything. Everything is being regurgitated, like really, really bad. And it's really bad here in the Philippines. The same expats start the same channels, and they'll take that person's content.
Lies.
They don't add nothing to it. As a matter of fact, they beyond dramatize it, and they're not even really living the actual life. And a lot of them don't, they haven't been here that long and all of that, but they're saying like stuff out there, whether it's, I don't know, pick a subject, like you want to make lemonade with cucumber slices. You think you're getting something new, and it's the same thing. I'll get like 1 minute into a recipe, I'm like, they're repeating the exact same
here's the thing.
It's not even.
It's worse than that. It's, you guys may or may not heard of this terminology. It's Chinese whispers. You know what Chinese whispers is? You know what Heidi says. We're talking about lemonade with cucumbers. By the time it gets to you, it's
Got garlic in
yeah,
it.
correct.
Because they're trying to do something different. So yes, they're sprinkling a lot of untruths and drama in there.
So it's already untruth from the get-go. And by the time it goes from one YouTuber to another and gets to you guys, it's not even close to the truth.
And you guys have to know that. You guys watch all these channels. I mean, let me put some real truths out there. Old Dog New Tricks has been Paul. He's been out there forever. He is one of the original people, just like Brian, Philly in the Philippines. He was the first guys out there walking street, giving you the information, did it through the pandemic, gave you the real advice. The same with Paul. And now these guys are copying like almost verbatim that his life and everything. They get a woman that's X amount young like that. They copy his life, and it's copycats. And I feel at one point Paul got a little agitated because he said that he had ran into a guy at the store and just wouldn't leave him alone situation. But these guys, it's got to be irritating for him in public for people just to come up or, to copy and this and that. But it's you guys have seen it time and time again. So my fear, and me and George, the reason we do this channel is, one, it's to, like, as always, we helped a lot of people during the pandemic. We spoke to people, we did videos. That was our original thing. When we go out and about, people say, hey, I've been watching you. We like the truth. We like that you're being real. And, you let us know about these other expats that mess up and all these things. And that's why we cover that drama, is because, hey, don't end up like Brokeback Mountain and his Peach out there. By the way, in case you didn't watch the total live through, Peachback Mountain is in Baguio, or is it Baguio, guys? She came through and we're renting space in her head because she went on that thank you. She made $300 and she already gave it to school. I'm like, well, she didn't get paid that quick. That video was just like 10 days ago. But she was going on about the money and everything. But I guess he's off with his woman. I believe he said it was Baguio. Where did anyways, I think it's Baguio. But he's with her now. He's with the girlfriend. They're going to spend time together, and then they're going to come right back out to the mountain and stuff. But there's so many lessons to learn about what's going on, and it's fun to actually cover it. But no, there has to be purpose, and that is a big thing in retirement that people are doing. They're starting these YouTube channels, and here's what they run into: causes issues as a couple, or they can't handle that their Filipina goes like. What I've seen is they'll start this channel. Their Filipina already was doing TikTok and her own little talk show and radio show and all this. And then they decide to do this channel together. She starts getting a lot of attention. When he's asleep or half drunk, she's still doing it. I just seen one on TikTok that was putting on makeup and in front of the camera. That was her whole skit on TikTok. And there's a 46-year age difference. She was a single mother with a kid. And they just got married, and they're going on about how great their life is. And I'm like, that's just going to cause strain. So it's like, you can almost predict what's going to happen. It causes strain on the relationships and stuff. And when the expat is done with doing it, then you're going to have the Filipina that's going to continue. And so, yeah, I'm kind of getting lost in this. But Discerning Dash says, when I noticed in the Philippines, anything of quality is so expensive, even more than US. I agree. Example, I go to Ross Dress for less. I can buy a Puma shoe for $35 in the Philippines, shoe 5,000 to 8,000. Yeah. So that is kind of weird that some items, I will agree, because George has heard me bitch about the prices. Because yeah, you can get a bunch of inexpensive things. Now, in my opinion, those inexpensive things are getting more expensive, of course, because of the people don't plan for the inflation and stuff. But yes, anything of real quality, like I'm considering a bread maker here. And if I don't want to end up with something that's really poor quality, or like if I go to the mall to get it, then I can buy a good brand name that's nice online for the same price, or get a real super, cheap unit. They're going to still charge me the same price as the nice one. So you have to shop around here. But no, I would agree on that, that yes, anything of quality is going to cost. Rentals, buying a house, and everything, because it's strange. There's plenty of places at 5,000 pesos a month, 6,000, depending if you go further out in the province, 8,000, 9,000. But if you invest even out there in something, like if you want something with half the Western amenities, it could jump up to almost 1,000 a month, or 40, 50,000 pesos. I've seen a lot of those houses in this area. The condos are running about 30, 40,000 pesos. I'm like, screw that. I'm not paying $1,000 a month to turn one block, and I'm in crap infrastructure where my internet's going out, and it could still be going out at 1,000 a month. So I don't find the balance. You have to find that balance. There is a real balance on what you're willing to pay, save the money. Like us, we have like this good balance because our rent and electricity is X amount of money. But can we go live in a place that costs 40,000 a month? Yeah, sure. But I don't feel, I'd rather use that money, put it in the savings, put it towards the pets, do other things with it than to do that. So there's a balance.
Or just buy a Class A.
Is that a one-way ticket to China?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Class A? You mean the pretty Filipino?
No, 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 no. Okay.
Just-
For example, you're looking for a shoe, and you're looking at Pumas. You buy a Class A shoe, a Class A Puma shoe. What's a Class A? Class A is a counterfeit Puma shoe that is basically identical
Tara.
to the real product. Now be aware that most of these products, aka shoes, purses, and everything, they're all made in the same factory, including the counterfeit ones.
Mhm.
And what it means is it's basically the same thing, except they're selling it through the back door.
Yeah. I will disagree with Hillbilly Pyro further down. He said, life is life, no matter where you live. Let's see, where you live, it is all the same stuff. I would disagree. The thing that stays the same as you, your attitude, your problems, you willing to adjust. A lot of people come here with such attitudes, problems, disgruntled stuff. You bring that toxicity with you here to the country. You outright people attack their Filipinos. All of that is what doesn't change. It does change, because if you already have that, like me and George were having some issues. We're married. We had some issues in Mexico. We had them in Florida. So when we kept moving along, we brought those problems. When I got to the Philippines, and then electricity was down part of the time, we were dealing with the pandemic, out of stock items, adjusting to the food, stomach bugs from the water, the heat, all these problems. I would disagree with your statement on that. That if you take the 4 phases of retirement and then you apply it to moving to Asia. Okay, we're not talking about like some quaint town in Greece or something that, you're getting like a rental out in the mountains for X amount of money, and that things are all pretty and bottled up and buttoned up, and you're dealing with a few problems. Asia tends to bring the craziest problems, especially for the guys who are moving to Thailand and stuff, where there's a big major language barrier. So
I don't think he meant it that way. I think he's saying there's an old saying.
you may stay the same.
No. I don't think he meant it that way. It's kind of there's a saying. It doesn't. It's not coming to my mind. But basically, what he's saying is it's same shit, different place. But there's a better saying. I forgot what it. How
well,
it is.
that's what I'm saying, is that
I
you
think
will
that-
still be you.
I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
That he's saying it's the same stuff. I think that's what he meant. You still have to go through the hoops, basically. You're just in a different place. Same stuff. That's what he meant.
Okay, so maybe he meant at that point life is life. In other words,
Yeah, you still have to
life
go.
problems. Yeah, okay.
You
So
still
if
have
you're
to
talking
go
about
through the
basic,
hoops.
but he's saying no matter where you are, it does change when you're in a different environment because those environments can just add to the fuel.
No. I get
When
it.
you
I
up
get
and
it.
take the move, life won't be life if
Like I said, there's that saying. I forgot. I can't come up with the saying right now. I can't pull it out of my head.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I get where he's coming from. It's nothing against him. It just gave me an opportunity to say, unlike some other information being put out there, is they're making this all pretty and that everything's fine. And I get where we get messages that come through and says, "Oh, if you hate the country, then you should leave." Didn't say that either, honey. Nobody's saying that. Just letting you know that it's tough. And believe me, there's tougher channels out there than me. And it's funny that the most ones that put out that information are Filipino channels. You got those that are doing them total podcasts and shows. You realize how bad they tear down the government and their people. And there's been a lot going on. It's like, yeah, check around.
well, they can do that. They're Filipinos.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Right. But and I'm not supposed to be able to say that it's hot, this is going on, that's going on.
It's no different than a Filipino over there.
Right. So I'm just saying that there's a lot of stuff out there. Good morning, Curtis.
Yeah, Victor C says George is saying same book, different page. Yeah, something like that. There's a better saying. I just can't come up with it right now, but that's a good one too.
Yeah. No,
yeah, same book, different page. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Yeah.
No, I'm kind of I still believe that would apply if you're in the same country that you have more of an adjustment to. So I get the scenario. That's part of retirement would just be retirement until you jump into another foreign country, and people need to put that in their equation. But I think the one thing that does stay steady, and I'll agree, the book situation is women are going to be women. That ain't going to change part. In other words, they can be the same way no matter where they're at. That I will agree is women are the same as far as dating, that they'll pull the same things and the whole nine yards, or guys or anything else. But when you take the other scenarios, you're just up and taking your luggage to another country, you're going to have different issues in the next country. Yeah, you're bringing the same. A lot to process. So true how expensive things are in the Philippines. Walmart items has more quality than some items in the shopping mall. Yeah. Good morning, Thera. There is a new roided up YouTuber who I don't, maybe you said maybe who you hate, or
No, it just looks like that.
My chan is downright explosive. There is a rated juiced up YouTuber who hates everything about the Philippines, has done everything wrong since he's been here now. Oh, they're talking about the Russian. He lost a ton of weight. He's been back in the papers. He still thought he was going to get out of the country, but looks like he's going to definitely serve the time. They've moved him. Yeah.
No, he's stuck here.
Oh, yeah. No, but he did lose a bunch, which who cares?
Well, he's an idiot. I know he regrets it, but he's an idiot. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's kind of like the people that come and move here. It's like, once you're here, you sell everything and do everything. Most of them stay no matter what. And, I think that's just life, though. I think when people get married, I think when people make big moves, they change careers and all that. There's always going to be a form of.
And he got away with a lot of stuff. He had a lot.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
He got plenty of chances, but
yeah,
he deserves it. I hate to say it. He deserves it.
Okay, so that was it. I couldn't think of it. It was Bohol. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, he went to Bohol, not the other one. I'm thinking Baguio's near us. Bohol is where him and the woman is.
Okay.
So thank you, Sarah. I couldn't. That's why I kept Baguio. Didn't sound right. Bohol. So the bee place. Did you want? I'm not trying to take over your.
No, that's fine.
Things in the mall can be found in Shopee and Lazada cheaper. Weed Whackers is over 10,000 a store. Yeah, and you buy it for $5, and then you'll see the reviews. You go through, you see people they're really
No,
good,
Lazada
and you can't
and
see that.
Shopee, and they're cheaper than in a
And you
walk-in
get the
place.
good, yeah, you get
Brick
the
and
good
mortar,
things.
yeah.
Is just, yeah, they're bringing in cheaper and cheaper stuff, and they got to mark it up to pay for the store and the employees. And here in the Philippines, crazy. We went to the mall, and there was the Ace place, and they had like 10 people standing around.
Yeah,
I
no,
couldn't believe it.
But there's a lot. Remember, there's a lot of people that would rather go to a store than order it online.
Yeah. I would agree on this discerning dash. It's like there is no middle ground here in the Philippines. It's either like really cheap or expensive here. And sometimes I'm wondering how the locals afford it. I think even George is a Filipino. When we returned back, and George, we have never, you probably never seen so many vehicles and new vehicles and trikes and bicycles. Even bikes cost. And we're like, we can't afford that bike. And we're, our income, the household income has to be 60% higher or 60 more than, like, we have the income. We were not rich, but to others we are. And we still couldn't afford to do something like that. And the eating out, and with social media, look at the ones on social media. They're not all making money. A lot of Filipinos that are doing their social media accounts are buying the views, whether it's bought through whatever. So you would think they're making money, but they're not making money. And so, but yet you'll see them in these fancy restaurants with a whole table worth of food, or showing them doing shopping sprees, and they're really shopping. And I'm like, where are these people? And you're scrolling through and seeing, constant. And it's like, where is the money coming from? I have to buy Pumas because I have flat feet and they're great. Yeah, I have flat feet too. So the military wouldn't have got me anyways. Section 8 and flat feet right on my back. You know what Section 8 is?
Yeah.
Okay. You just weren't going to confirm that. Here, do your eyebrow thing. Section 8.
That's not an eyebrow thing. That's a mouth thing.
Yeah. Mouth. Because of tariffs, China has been uploading videos saying materials for 20,000 Louis Vuitton purses.
Are you seeing those? Yeah,
yes.
I know, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I mean, okay, and it's not a secret. I mean, Louis Vuitton and all these other products are made in the same freaking factories.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's true. Yep, they just buy them for the name and to show them off too. That is a video I just watched, and I would agree. It was a really big podcaster that said everybody is just being too elaborate, to look at me, it's like even the older people are starting to do it. And I think the ones that buy really expensive items with no sponsorship or nothing, that are just they'll destroy items. So they just outright destroy items. You're not bringing them kittens in. He tried to bring those baby kittens in.
I brought the kittens in. They're so cute.
They're cute.
They're so cute.
Like I said,
let me go grab them.
You can, yeah.
Just to show you guys. I'm not joking. They're super cute. Oh my god.
Yeah, don't let Pigsy out. But they definitely belong to Fang. So there's a ton of strays that we feed like 10 twice a day, and they were dropped out at our front gate, and right with alive. George is sound asleep. I can hear him out there meowing, and there's bikes going around them and stuff. But we can't keep bringing him in. There's just no way. We're already going through 60 or 70 pounds of. Did you get them both, or just one? You did get them both. They're so stinking cute, but they're trouble. They are trouble.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh
Here.
my goodness.
One of them is really spicy.
Hold on.
Here, you have two.
Yeah.
Hey.
Look at them. They're so cute. They're so cute.
They belong to Fang. But they do belong to China. Aw, there's Pigsy. It's okay, Pigsy. It's probably your brother. Yeah. Yeah. I know, honey. Yeah, who is that? Huh?
They're so cute.
Now, Pigsy and the others have been fixed. The boys, And the mother already got fixed. They weren't old enough. In July, they're old enough to be fixed. We will get China fixed because she's probably had like 4 batches of cats in the last few years. But the problem is she's nursing, so we'll have to keep her inside while she heals for a few days. But unfortunately, these guys have to stay out. We have little boxes. Oh, you guys are so sweet. They are so sweet. But yes, they were actually in the traffic, and we're pretty sure the government guy up the street, probably his housekeeper, brought him down.
Probably.
So it's sad and heartbreaking, but unfortunately, there are just too many in the house now. We can't save them all, according to AI. You can't save them all. Yeah, same book, different page. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just adding something in there. That's why it's good that George and me, we kind of, I think that's another reason why people watch us is, you're just going to get if George is being passive and being sweet like a typical Filipino, and they're like, oh, well, it's okay. The traffic's okay. And that's what you might get. And then I'm like, oh, hell no, the traffic is horrible here. And it's like, oh, okay. So that's what I was telling people the other day, that we balance the channel out and we are an original. So it's just, it's just the way and how long we've been doing it and in retirement. And yeah. Hi, Pigsy. Hi, Pigsy. Say hi, Pigsy. She has not grown much. She's been fixed and everything. She's kind of stubby. There's her stubby tail, see? But she's not growing. This is about as big as she's going to get. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Pigsy. We call her Easter, but with her little pigtail, we call her Pigsy. Hi, Pigsy. What are you doing? You want to say hi? Oh, you're looking for the babies. I'm pretty sure them are your brothers and sisters. You think she's a batch of China's? I mean, she's got to be under 6 months. We know who the dad is. Oh, because he has the pigtail. So you don't think Fang is her dad? Yeah, that's right. There is another one in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way they all could get fixed.
Oh, hey.
All right, no, she comes out. She got brushed the other day. Now here comes Gucci. Gucci. Oh man, that was a hard time. I had to cut Gucci. I had to cut her bottom claws. That she's not like scratching, or they got a scratching post, but they're not.
Yeah, just real quick for those of you. Actually, Sarah was wondering why I was using the. I see dead people. In Foundation Hospital. The reason being is when they discharged my uncle from the hospital. I was gonna take him to his house, and we were waiting for the elevator. It was so long, and then the nurse was like, "You know what? Forget this. It's taking too long. Let's use this elevator." So he took us out to the back, and we walked past all the nurses, and the nurse was like wondering, like, what are you guys doing here? You guys supposed to be leaving. And I told the nurse, oh, I'm returning my uncle. We don't want him. No, I did. Well, anyway, she laughed. No, so we went back to the back elevator, and that's what we used. Because nobody uses that elevator for reasons.
Yeah.
No, nobody. It's really restricted for staff only type of elevator.
Yeah. This one right here, I don't know if you can see this right here. Don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they already deleted that, but the same person keeps on mentioning or has, and it's been coming up the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the purpose. It's kind of like, and that's the one channel. I wouldn't say I can't stand them. There's just no reason. It's like kind of hard to. It's evident that they're either a lover of the channel, they're the owner of the channel, or something. When we get people that keep mentioning the same channels yeah. Are we talking about bad relationships? I'm getting more and more not wanting to dump my girl over there. Well, we're talking about retire. We're talking about everything now, but it's just different phases. Yeah, it kind of turns into, everything. So when we get into conversations, they kind of tend to, they're all over the place, but it's a,
Well, speaking of dumping, I mean, if okay,
go dump them kittens somewhere.
I'm not telling you guys how to rule your life. Okay? It doesn't matter where your girl is, whether in the U.S., you're in Nicaragua,
That
you're
is
in
the one thing stays the
Brazil.
same.
If your girl is toxic, get rid of her.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to hold on that. Somebody can be toxic if they're willing to change, they do the counseling, they do the work. You are both putting the work in and you guys sit down and talk. That's something different. I would see what the problem is. If she's worth keeping and you love her and you care, you work through it, especially if you're married and you don't stay because of the finances. You don't stay because the hamburger and the nookie is good. You stay for multiple reasons. If you can't have all those
Well,
reasons,
of course,
you know, try everything.
if she's willing to
God,
change,
counseling.
yeah, of course, work it out.
Well, that would be the girls that won't admit it and continue to make mistakes for years and years and years, and they're not changing. If the person is making a change and an effort, you can see that. You do realize there's a catalyst in issues, right? When it keeps happening over and over and over again, the same thing through every relationship, then you know that's the one of the issues.
Okay,
So
now,
you got
in
this,
all
this
seriousness, be aware that if you face the same problem in every relationship, there's only one major factor that's one constant in those relationships, and that is you.
right. Yeah, what I'm saying
So
is,
what I'm saying is, don't always blame it on somebody else.
right, got to look at your own
If
backyard.
you're having the same problem.
Mm-hmm. And yes, so it does go like that. But understand, I heard the scenario of you got a backpack on, you got bricks in that backpack. Remember, you're both carrying that, and I guarantee
Now-
you ain't perfect.
No.
So everybody on
Now,
both sides, it's not one-sided always.
It's not my fault if in the middle of the night I was like walking by this girl while she was asleep and I tripped on the skateboard and fell right in.
I knew you were going to say something stupid. I could have counted on that. I'm using a serious scenario.
Oh
of
no,
bricks
I
and backpack.
fell right in.
What's that got to do with toxic?
Oh,
Maybe stupid, but I'm not sure where we're. Yeah, so both sides could be toxic. I mean, get so sick
it's
and
not
tired.
the guy's fault if all of a sudden this girl like trips and her mouth just falls right in.
I hope the cat scratches your eyes out. Goo goo. I'm gonna throw some catnip in your eyes.
I'm just saying.
Where's the catnip? I'm gonna
we have-
sprinkle some catnip in your hair.
there's some variances that men cannot control. True
Stupidity. What I'm thinking
It was
is
an accident.
that
It was an accident.
guys and girls are quick to blame, period. And just as the woman is like, oh, he's so nasty and he's this and that and this, it's like, oh, what did you do today? Are you making your man a sandwich? Are you taking care of the factory? Are you taking care of your kids? Are you trying to work on this marriage? Or is your ass like knee deep in TikTok all day doing this? I mean, come on. Same with you guys. Pull your shit together. You know what is going on. You both are carrying bricks in your backpacks. You need to sit down and take them out and discuss each one of them, what's going on. Like, people will go 5 years to marriage and they won't talk. When you guys, I've discussed this about George. If a Filipino is doing the tampo or they're not talking to you, and a lot of them will just shut you out totally, rather than talk about it. My grandfather was like that. So you will get people in life that just won't talk. It's just, that's when you know that there's nothing left. So you'll know if she's worth keeping or not. That's just where it is. So it's where it is. Next. Oh, cheapo. We bought a cheap. No, I'm talking about Dexo and Jim. Stupid YouTubers trying to sell memberships. Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Oh, I see. Well,
Yeah, that's a couple we almost covered. We still might, but they're all over the place. I believe they have a piggery too. That was another couple we didn't want to talk about, like that other couple. That, he's got a few things going on. I know that they break up, they get back together. He said he's not getting back together. There was something going on with the stepson, real toxic family members screaming and fighting and yelling through their fence. We almost covered them, but he is a real copier of content. And then he brings all this additional drama. I don't know. I don't care much for his channel. I put him up there with the American Man and that other one they keep trying to talk about, pro-life. I'm just going to throw that out there. Them are just, you know, who knows? Yeah, I'm pretty close to still talking about it. And he tends to talk about that in the comment section too. So, what's your opinion?
What's that bread maker thing?
Where? Oh, right here, bread maker. We bought a cheap bread maker on Shopee almost 4 years now and still going. We have a new US one, but the old one keeps going.
We got our fridge from Lazada.
Everything, pretty much. Yeah, we've got a Fujinya, and we've had it now for
Fujinzo.
4 years, and it was about $300. It's not a tiny one. Now in the U.S. for $300, we probably got one of them, little cubed ones. But it's
in a brick and mortar store, you can't get a fridge for that price.
No. So, and we had it delivered. So you can do the researching and look it up. At one point, I made a list because now they allow you to list things from Shopee, I think, and Lazada.
Yeah, we have this freezer for meat.
Deep freezer was under $100.
Yeah.
And it holds quite a bit. So, and it doesn't drain the electricity.
Fails on.
My question would be, Curtis, what about the electricity consumption? Remember, we had the, I want to start making the whole wheat, like German breads. It's got a lot of the nuts and seeds in it. And I know when we use the air fryer, we have the highest electricity in this area.
I'm laughing about the air fryer.
That was a hot mess. So that's why I've hesitated, and I'm at my limit because this month we already bought the computer. It was kind of like a pre-birthday Christmas thing for us. We're already rolling into Christmas already. So I had to take the plunge because the software was outdated, the computer was outdated, and it was running. It took all day to do anything on the computer. So, but I'm curious on the electricity. I mean, I guess if you're not making 2 loaves of bread a day and you're like sitting around eating buttered toast and hot chocolate all day, George's favorite. Would you like some buttered toast and some hot chocolate?
Oh, no.
Graham crackers and milk?
Oh.
Wussy, Tussie, and Big Macs?
Oh, no.
What would you like? What would you like? Would you like a nice steak and egg dinner?
Oh, no.
Bacon sandwich? Bacon, peanut butter, and banana sandwich? In a grilled press? What? That's Elvis's sandwich, man. I was going to have us open up a shop where that's all we sold.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. How do you think that would go?
Not well.
Right? There'll be 10 Filipinos opening up the same shop, getting the bacon cheaper somewhere else, and selling you under the table by half price to not make a profit for the next 6 months to say, look at me. Here I am on TikTok selling these sandwiches. And I'm so proud of myself. It's a damn it. Now we're losing money. Ugh.
It'll be on Rafi Tufo being interviewed by why he's homeless.
Right? Oh my God, that's true. That's what we haven't done in a while is a Rafi Tulpa. So we're going to go see what expat messed up and on there say, oh, speaking of Rafi Tulpa, we do have a Rafi Tulpa. I think it's time to bring back in the Australian guy. He reached out to us a few days ago. He says he still cannot get a hold of his kids.
What Australian guy?
Okay, there was for the people. Okay, well, we really only covered one. I'm trying to get into telling people what it is. There was an Australian guy on Rafi Tulfo that had his kids taken away. He wasn't really married to the girl. I think it was the condo guy, and he's back there. But he said why he was here. Rafi tried to get him back with his kids and all kinds of scamming going, but he's truly not married to the girl. And because she did fake documents, she knew people inside of the buildings and all kinds of stuff. So he has reached out for like the second time. But I figure, being a story we covered, probably 6 months ago or more, we don't tend to go that far back. Like, we'll get people that'll reach out and say, okay, Q's Adventure, this or this, that happened. I'm like, yeah, okay, we're kind of done with them for that purpose. We're not trying to beat that dead horse. We're not a super troll channel. See what I mean? Some of them will just carry on forever because we rent space in their head, or other things rent space in their head. We ain't trying to do that. We brought up what's going on. We discussed what's going on, how it affects expats, and then we're on with it. I'm not trying to go back a bunch, unless, like, when we covered the kid that went missing down in Mindanao, a bunch of new things come up, and there was discussions about it. But that's about the only time we want to do that.
Speaking of Mindanao,
so we probably should cover this Australian, because he's saying he's willing to come on, and there is some other stuff going on.
Yeah, we have an exclusive. Just let you guys know. So save the
on
day.
Missing Expats.
On Tuesday, we're gonna have an exclusive interview on Elliot Eastman's Ghost. Here, we're gonna have a seance live, and we're gonna interview Elliot Eastman's Ghost. A one with the Eastman. Quick, touch the solar panel. That way we can connect with him better.
Not if I'm being overcharged for it from a Chinese guy. We're not going to be here. We're not going to be here next week anyways.
Why is that?
Because I'm going to be with Jesus.
What?
Yep. I'm going to be with Jesus. I wish he would get this shit over with. Actually, that's what people have been saying. They're like, hey, I'm ready to go because I'm tired of this shit, master.
There's no lawn to mow down here.
You got what I'm saying. I'm ready to be with Jesus. Better get right with Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we got one of those Jiffy popcorn things.
Oh, we do.
So here's the deal.
We're gonna pop with the popcorn.
Yeah. So they're like, when things go down and the lights go down, we're supposed to gather blankets. Somebody said use a pan. There was a woman in the military. She said she was in the military. She said you grab pans and put them over the top of you. So we're going to take all the cats, throw blankets over us, and we're going to toss over pans on top of us to protect us from the fallout.
Huh?
Yeah, she said use pans in the house. Wait. I'm talking about fallout from what's going on in the Middle East, man. What you talking about? I said get right with Jesus. What do you think I'm talking about?
No, that has to be a joke. There's no way that's serious.
She said the military talks about about getting into ditches. Yeah, several of them have been talking about, just not one. If I didn't hear from just one, then I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to mention this.
You really think that's going to save you?
I guess it's
the
government. I don't know. Blankets. No. I mean, it's better than nothing.
I mean, I get it. Like, okay, for those of you who went to school during the Cold War and they teach you how to go under these little tiny desks of yours, I mean, let's be real.
Hey, we did those
You're
drills.
done. You're done. It doesn't matter.
Listen,
if you hide under a metal desk, you're done.
How old I am is not only did they have those when I was in school,
Duck
but
and
we also had segregation. We had segregation still in Ohio when I was even in middle school.
When all the bombs come down, it all comes up in smoke. Duck and cover.
Yeah. So either way, it's
remember that song?
Not really.
Okay. Well,
that's
anyway.
how old you are. So I bought
how old I am. That's before my time.
No kidding.
They didn't teach me that.
There were 7 employees wrapping up. I think they have excessive employees here. I've never seen a country that's been, not even in, like in the Middle East, there was like one person running the show. Speaking of which, I thought it was funny. I seen that one Asian comedian. I wish I could remember his name, but he said that he's getting so tired of these cooking shows, right? How they're over exaggerated. Like, I can't boil this egg and I can't make a poached egg and I can't do this cheese sauce. And it's so dramatic. He goes, meantime, in a Chinese restaurant, you got one dude, and we're talking like 8 menu items, right? You got this Chinese dude in this restaurant and there's 90 items on the menu, right? You got one dude that looks like your uncle back there, cigarette hanging out his mouth, cooking this stuff. And he's like in a wife beater shirt, all yellow, once was white, just back there cooking and stuff, just living his life and like taking it easy. And he gets all those orders out. And it's like, anyways, you had to be there. But
Now, speaking
you know,
of
you'll get where some places there's hardly any employees at certain countries. Here they overdo it. I guess that's where I was trying to get to a point. One guy running a Chinese restaurant with 100 orders, and then here they've got 10 people trying to take care of you at a hardware store.
yeah, so somebody explained this to me. Now, this has always been
I'd rather pay 3 employees a good income where they'll actually not like do silent quitting.
Yeah.
It's like, I ain't gonna go take her no water.
Now, somebody in the chat, please explain this to me. This has always been a mystery to me in the U.S. In the U.S., this is a mystery to me. So, explain to me why Chinese restaurants always have Mexican chefs, and how come Mexican restaurants have Chinese chefs?
Okay, so that'll also bring me up to the point of this Asian comedian. He said the same thing. He said that his friends, when they go to this Chinese restaurant, like he goes, we get in there and it's like, speak Chinese, order in Chinese and speak Chinese. He's like, dude, she's Spanish. And he goes, and we're here at Panda Express. What do you expect, man? You know, it's like, pipe down,
I
man.
see,
She's
right.
Spanish. So yeah, I mean, I get the. I about fell over when I heard that one. It's like, dude, her name is like Laquita. And it's like she's from Mexico or something, and you're wanting me to speak, you know, cool language, he said, but it's wrong place, wrong time. So here, go ahead and go through this. I'm looking for something through here. George, you're up. I'm doing something.
Yeah, no, they do this, yes. I love when they follow you around the store and I tell them just looking, and yeah, at least it's, well, no, it's kind of, well, now here's the thing. Now, I understand why they're overstaffed, and some of you may or may not understand why. This is an issue too in the U.S. Except in the U.S., it's not as obvious. The reason why they always overstaff is because employees have a very high propensity of not showing up at all. They don't even call in. They just don't show up at all. So therefore, they always have like the minimal staff plus 2. And that way, if 2 people call in, they always have backup. And unfortunately, I don't know how they can afford the extra staff, but that's how they do it.
It is.
It makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. Robert Goodson says, I have a question for both of you. Why is it that to work in the mall or get a job as a person that answers the phones that you need a college education?
Yeah.
Why? They don't make that. Okay, now the reason why is because it's the standard. And what I'm saying is, okay, now, kind of like in the US, for the most part, they ask you to have a high school education. And why is that? It's because that's what most people achieved. Here,
In a lot of Asian countries.
college is what most people achieve. If you didn't achieve college, you're like, yeah, why the heck would we hire
It's
you?
kind of like their high school diploma here.
Correct. It's in the U.S. If you did not,
Doesn't indicate they're
if
smart.
you don't have a
though.
GED diploma, or if you don't have a high school diploma, most companies do not hire you. It's
And it
the same
doesn't
thing.
indicate that they're
I
smart or they
I
got
understand
skills.
that.
It's a basic diploma.
That's why I said it's the standard.
Mhm.
Although I don't agree with you, though. I really don't agree with you.
Okay.
There's a difference between somebody passing high school and there's a difference between passing college.
In the Philippines.
Okay.
Okay.
I do not agree with you.
Okay.
I've spoken with a lot of Americans, and not just Americans,
Which the
other
same goes for them.
nationalities.
It's the same for them.
And no, I
Doesn't
don't
make
agree
them
with you.
qualified. It doesn't make them smart. Could be either country. So
Okay, we'll leave it at that. You're talking about an educational background here. Sorry, I do not agree with you. Anyway, Professor says I couldn't believe how much money some Filipinos spend in SNR. Oh no 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 no! It's weird. It's like
We're spending 10,000, 12,000 pesos, which is $200 in a shot just for a trip, not for, but yet you'll see people with way more. And I know some of them are running restaurants, but they're usually Filipinos. They're not regular foreigners. I've seen some Koreans and stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. And it's a store that's packed. So that's what blows my mind, along with the mall with people shopping, using services. And now maybe they're only going like once and that they never come back, or I don't know. So yeah. Sarah says, George, off topic, I got a power bank with the power enough for a fridge and yada yada with the solar panel. Can I charge a solar panel set of 3 through the sliding glass door, direct sun?
yes.
Yeah. How long does that hold that though? I mean, I take it each one, she can just run the plug to it when needed.
Well, I assume it's a pre-built setup. So. But I think the real question is not so much the setup; it's whether or not the glass pane will make a difference. Does it make a difference? Yes. Does it make a difference that actually make a difference? No. It's the variable is so tiny, it's pointless. So what I'm
So
saying
she
is,
doesn't have to keep it outside.
it
It
doesn't
can
have to
still.
be outside. It can be indoors, and it's.
I wondered about those fans that people
Yeah.
have in the
I mean,
house.
the glass panel does deflect some, but not it. It. What I'm saying is, the panels will suffer more if they're outdoors. If that makes any sense, because the panels you do have to maintain them.
Second wind says I have 2 degrees and I'm stupid as hell. I hear you, man. No, I mean, what I'm saying is that, I mean, I'm not going to go into it. Don't want to go that far into it, but it doesn't necessarily. It's a standard here, and and then the pay for those that are, that are with those degrees don't exactly mean a lot of pay here. It depends on the profession and everything.
Cern Dash says China buy brand name bags from them makes no sense for me because I bought a Versace bag in the Philippines because I like the name and logo. Even my cologne is Versace, and so is my shoe. China, they have no logo. Sarah says, "Oh, she's talking about the kittens. Oh, they're adorable. Just got 2 kittens as well. It's my 1 Ascal, 1 Golden Retriever, and 4 Maltese.
Shih Tzu, yeah.
Shih Tzu. Aw,
Yeah, Shibu.
Maltese Shih Tzu. I wonder what that looks like.
What's Mary again? Shih Tzu and the other one.
Shih Tzu and Pekingese.
Yeah.
But Maltese are the white fluffy dogs, so I wonder what that looks like.
Yeah. Because that's what Willie is an Oscar, isn't he? Mix.
Hillbilly Pyro says, I have a bag I got from Marlboro. Oh, very fancy.
Them are the best ones.
Right? Remember those when you used to have to save the barcode and send them in?
That's crazy.
The Marlboro Bucks? Yeah, they're called Marlboro Bucks.
And then I realized I was buying more
the
cigarette
hats,
cartons
the lighters,
than I was.
yeah.
But it was about that's what kept people buying.
They had a Marlboro bicycle.
And then it was something from China, it probably cost them $1 and you had to save $400 worth of cigarette tags to get it. So it's a real good gimmick.
Professor says China makes all the bags to Cern Dash and sends them to Paris, London, U.S.
Oh, speaking of which, when the dog groomer came the last time, we get stamps. The 5th one or wash we get for free or something. So it's a gimmick, but we forgot it. He'll probably mark it the next time. He knew he was here. It's like,
maybe not.
Dude, what? I will hose them down right on out of the yard. I said, get.
Cern Dash says, yeah, those big brand name bags are for occasions for daily, not for daily use. Where I use my Versace bag to go to nice restaurants. When I go to SM, Ayala, I use regular brand.
Yes, Black Grandpa, there is. We have a second channel. It's been out probably, more than 6 months. So we dual broadcast. The other one is where we had planned to put like just maybe the pets on there, things about retirement. I believe it's I forgot, it's dual broadcasting right now. It's the Philippine retirement channel for us. It's been out for a while, so yes.
Laura says I'm toxic because of some issues I can't tolerate.
Gotcha. Hey, nothing wrong with that. So
A second one says my woman is in the U.S. Love her, and we're doing reverse LDR. Right? You're the one here, and she's over there. That's funny. That's funny.
there, yep, the bricks. Everyone has bricks they want to throw to the next person. Yeah, the ones that are, you know, if the other person is quick to get rid of the person, then they weren't worth being, to begin with. If they're willing to fight for your love and then they stick around, and but you have to put work. Marriage and relationships are work. Like I said, guys are pretty simple. They just want a little something something. They want to, they want to be praised and loved and all these things. They're pretty simple. They are pretty basic. I've learned that here. And then women can be complicated. We want that emotional connection, and there's so much more emotions that women put into it, and they take on responsibilities, and there's so much to it. But if the couples are willing to work through it, but people have to look in their own backyard, but they don't, and they won't admit they're at fault for things, then the relationship will never last. It'll last for a few years, but then after that, when things like the sexless marriages and all that start happening that Sunshine complains about, I bet Sunshine did a lot of shit. As a matter of fact, he said he did a lot of shit. I would stop having sex with him too at that point, and he probably would me vice versa for giving him a hard time. And things just fall apart. I know that didn't sound right, did it? But there's a vision you guys won't be able to wipe out of your head. That Oreo cookie just melted all over the ground.
Like a spot says, you had me at Seance.
Next on the next live stream, we'll be calling. I got rid of the 8-ball.
Yeah, I know.
I was trying to find you. You needed that 8-ball for the seance?
Thor says in South Padre Island, the Chinese restaurant was run by Mexicans. Right.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't joking. Most Chinese restaurants have Mexican chefs, and most Mexican restaurants have Chinese chefs. It's kind of weird.
The one that's on that one girl's channel, one of the homeless guys, or that's building something. It's a regular white American on the street selling tacos and just calling it authentic Mexican food. And I'm like, in the Philippines from a white guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can you call it authentic Mexican?
I don't know, but officially, don't they have a few of those around here up and down the street that are selling Mexican food?
I'd believe them.
They're Filipinos, but at least they've got a Spanish descent. At least they've got something Hispanic in them. I had Hispanic in me last night.
If he's never lived in Mexico, then obviously you can't call it authentic. It's
yeah.
Nuclear Power says the cashiers in the Philippines would not make it in the U.S. They would be gone by day one. You can be next in line. This is true. You can be next in line, still there, be there for 30 minutes. In fact,
in restaurants, have patience because everything takes
forever. I called
up
Heidi. I said, just so you know, I'll probably be here another hour because they took a break.
Mm-hmm. That is true. They literally will leave the register and not come back, and people are standing in line. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
And I think I said this the last time me and George had a discussion about me saying things are manual. What I mean to say when I say everything's manual, everything takes forever, and there's a ton of steps behind it. So there's not a lot of automation going on or smooth sailing through a lot of things. So, and then I have the days, like literally where the water is trickling out of the sink. Then it takes me like 40 minutes to do dishes situation and to get water for cooking and all of that. And it's like, what I meant to say is it takes all day. And if you got to go to the bank, forget about it. Say, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Right.
Like Joey Tribbiani. Forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I
don't know that.
Yeah, they're. Let me see where we at on that. 10. And we're not, Anton. We just said that. We just said, I mean, that's the whole, because there's nothing that would just be sitting around and gossiping about their life. There is some stuff to cover, but there's several guys like him, just like that other channel. There's actually no reason to actually cover him.
It's kind of like our intro song.
There it is.
It's like our intro song that these expats start a channel. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, if we get a ton of people that are saying, this person is doing this, and that, and it comes from sources of people that we've known long term or members or other than, unfortunately, that's when we start to cover things, and that's just a train wreck. So was the one up in the mountain, but the fact that they drug people through and people were still giving them money and all of this stuff, and they really weren't married, the baby wasn't his, and that's how their channel was built. There was like 5 things going on. I ain't covering those 2 channels. Not and especially at this point, I wouldn't cover those channels.
ACBGB, forget about it.
Forget about it. Oh, why is that coming up? There it is. I clicked on it twice. Yeah, the higher the education is supposed to show the person is responsible too, but not always. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I mean. I don't mean to offend George, but
book smart and street smart are 2 different things.
And I've been reading articles, and some people will agree, disagree, or maybe it was just a few articles. They said the standard of education here is not as high as others, and that when people are graduating from high school and college, it doesn't necessarily mean they could go to college somewhere else. So I'm not trying to, but we could say that about Mexico. We could say that about some other countries too, where somebody goes to school one place or another. I'm just saying it seems like they're handed out like Tic Tacs here. So.
Okay, well, I guess thanks for that.
I'm talking about you. You're smart. We said you were above average.
Okay.
Okay, and just like that, the next 4 live streams will be me. So there we go, and that's the problem.
Thanks, CBGB.
George looks suave and debonair in black. Yeah, forget about it. Hey, Ruby, what's going on? Remember, most cashiers get paid $500 to $600 a day. If you're getting paid that low, why would you push yourself hard? Well, for the most part, I could see that too. They are underpaid. If everybody around them wouldn't gouge the prices, the electricity, the rents, and everything else, then 600 pesos a day would match what they should be charging for the infrastructure and everything. I've talked about that before. Yes, they need to be paid way more, especially with the way the prices are going up. But I kind of go back to that's the wages that have been set and then increased over the years too. So it's kind of looking at it both ways. In other words, 600 pesos would be okay if their rent was only 3,000 pesos, or they weren't charging 5,000 for electricity because they have the highest in Asia, and the infrastructure never matches the houses here. And in the U.S., you can make the money and go get a second and third job that could actually pay for what you've got. But here, I don't know that would change the people. So.
Okay, well, the problem there is people are not aware of the market. And what I mean by that is they have to be aware of the wages that these types of people are being paid. When I say types, I'm saying sheer types. I'm not talking about any other type. So, for example, when Ruby says, cashiers and supermarkets get paid 500, 600 pesos a day, that's about right. Yes, that's the market rate. Now, the problem you have is, first off, money is never a motivation for performance. I don't care who you talk to.
Yeah, I was going to say
I really don't care who you talk to.
Even if you paid them $50 a day, I don't think that would change the individual
That will
person.
not change their performance.
Yes.
The performance is built in within that person.
Yep.
Second, now, the rates. Okay. The only time the rates would go higher or lower if the job is different, aka they're no longer a cashier. So, therefore, the argument is null and void. What I'm saying is, the person's motivation for their job rate only apply to jobs of their same caliber. I mean, of course, you can't expect a cashier to turn into a doctor, right?
Mhm.
But the problem that the Philippines face is, for example, I'm buying donuts, okay, and Heidi didn't partake in donuts today. I ate all the donuts. Okay, yes, I ate all the donuts. No, really, I did. Now I'm not gonna mention the girl's name, but anyway, I went over there and I always buy donuts from the same spot, the same Mr. Donut. And guess what? Every time I go there, there's always a different, brand new freaking girl
Yeah.
that sells the donuts. What does that tell me? It's a revolving door of employees. Except for today, when I walked up, the girl automatically asks, she says, "Would you like a, oh, you want a box of donuts, sir?" And I was like, "You're the same girl." For the first time ever, it's the same girl. Now, the reason why I was shocked, it's the same girl. I was like, wait, whoa, what? The reason is, the problem is, the Philippines you face is Ningas Kugon. You've heard of Ningas Kugon? Ningas Kugon is when Filipinos start a business and they're all into it. And then the business runs for like a month, 2 months, 6 months, and then it fizzles out. And then they close down. And what happens is these cashiers, they get these offers. Oh, we're gonna pay you 700 pesos. Would you like that? Yeah, yeah. And then they quit a stable job like working at SM or Mr. Donut. They quit a stable job working for Mr. Donut, and yeah, I'll take that job. And they go to this job that's gonna fizzle out in a month or two.
Yeah, I think that also, it happens probably more so here, but
No, it
in
happens
the
more so
US,
here. Of course, it happens
does
in the
on the
U.S.
jobs, yeah,
But here it happens a lot because, like, the bubble tea, like, it's gone.
well, the
The
businesses, yeah, closed
the
down. They're
coffee
only
shop,
had
it's
2, 3
gone.
months.
The no, they're
Yeah, it's because a lot of them don't do the full planning behind the businesses, and they don't start with a lot of money. They're borrowing it. They've got, OFW money coming in, and
yeah.
um,
There's sponsors. Just cut them off.
well, there's just, I think it's also the poor planning. So, I think we'll go ahead and answer this one real quick, and then I have to go to the
George,
bathroom.
why are the prices of the land so high in the Philippines? How can?
Well, yeah,
Well, it's
limited land would be
yeah,
one.
that would be it more than anything. There's a
And
lot
because
of
they
land,
need
but
the
it's
money.
it's not usable land. And it's kind of like in the
it's
U.S.
crazy.
It's kind of like in Japan. In Japan, there's these houses that you can buy for $1. I'm sure you've seen those
That is
videos
true. It is true.
because they're in the wrong places.
Yeah, unless you're fully retired out, and then it's kind of like the houses you can get the same. You can buy really inexpensive in Italy or Greece, or I think Greece is
Yeah.
another one. When you do, it needs so much work, so
Correct.
much
It's the same thing
clearing,
here.
and
Yeah.
they're out in the middle of nowhere. You have to have the total setup.
Yeah, there's a
but-
reason why they don't build houses or developments in those areas. Same thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for watching our cats and our kittens. And also remember
Yeah, this is
to
Gucci Bear.
watch us next week on Tuesday. We're gonna have a live seance and we're gonna do an interview with Elliot Eastman.
Yeah, that's if we still have power.
What? It's better without
That's
power.
enough
We'll,
that the lights went out
right,
in
exactly.
America.
We'll be solar
That's
powered.
when that man in Iran did his thing. Because Israel, when people will mind their business and everybody's got to throw bottles and stuff at each other, and then all of a sudden they throw these things up in the air, and then all of a sudden they send out the big one, and then Mr. President
Oh,
has
so
to do
it's
this,
kind of
and
like
then all the military is going all
when
over the
that
world.
jet aircraft that crashed in India and that building didn't collapse and burn. The same.
I don't know, but there's a lot to pull yourself, so maybe we'll be there. I don't know.
Right.
According to Iran, we won't.
Yeah. Yeah. Just make sure you wear your tinfoil hats and
Yes, stay safe. Yeah.
and your pots and pans.
Hey, and don't forget to coat yourself in baby oil, okay? And stick 2 cigarettes in your ears. Put the tinfoil hat on. Put a
Yeah.
piece of tinfoil
Say,
over your
say your
bottom.
goodbyes, guys. We're gonna leave very soon. Victor C already said goodbye earlier. Says thanks for live stream. Thank you for being with us, Victor C.
Thank you,
Ruby, stay
discerning
safe,
dash.
everyone. Hey, Slipbrick in the house. See you
Hey.
later. Yeah.
No, he was never found. He's presumed to be dead. The person who did it threw him overboard. So you'd have to go look at all of our videos that we covered on him. No, he's presumed dead. And in the very beginning, we showed a video of a guy bloated on the beach that was 100% a white guy.
Legally, he's declared
Yes.
ex-nade. Yes.
Right. And we still, in a big group, believe
he's
that it was him.
unalive. Yes.
Because he was thrown over. We said he was. It wasn't, but around the tip of the air, the land. It wasn't very far away. They said it wasn't him. We're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, after it was in the papers and on Facebook, it disappeared. And then they said it was a local official's side guy that they found. And we're like, that's a white dude, man. That was a white dude based on everything.
Yeah, that was a dead ringer.
It was a dead ringer for everything.
Yeah, no pun intended. I'm just saying.
But we believe that original shot was him. But unfortunately, no. There was someone who came forward and said that yes, he was already unalive when he got to the boat, and they just threw him out. So
yeah. Second one says, "Well, been a fun day. Everyone party hard." There you go.
Say goodbye, Gucci Bear.
Yeah.
Gucci's
Sarah
our
Tyson,
oldest
night
guy.
night. Thor says, "Baby, oh yeah. We
And iodine tablets.
Yeah.
They mentioned something about
Hashtag free Diddy.
Iodine. Is it iodine potassium tablets or something that supposedly will help the thyroid
Iodine.
absorption? Yeah. Well,
Iodine.
yeah, it's called iodine slash potassium pills.
Second one says, "Take it easy, sleazy, or any way you can get it." There you go. Hey,
Right.
Victoria, how you doing?
night,
Later,
guys.
Keith. I'll watch the start now. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Ted. Bye, Ted.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you guys later.
Love you.